Hey, howdy folks, welcome back to the shed. Let's move a little forward, about like that, and then I can sit back and I can grab my coffee. Welcome back to quite a sunny day today. Yeah, all looking good. Went to Alexandra Palace yesterday. Yeah, super time. Bought a few things, as you do. One of which hasn't worked out like I hoped it would. There's a problem with it, which I'm going to have to look into. Yeah, so I'll take that one when I've got a bit more time to play around with it. So I won't be running it today, unfortunately, but we'll see how that goes. Let me just do a bit of tippy-tappy. Welcome. Here we go. Let's go along to not top chat, live chat, and then all messages will be displayed. I should have been on a little earlier, but well, the pièce de résistance was going to be the Pennsylvania K4, which I bought yesterday, but it seems a little problematic at the moment, so you won't be seeing that running today. I will actually show you a little bit of webcam of it, but I've got a few other things I bought yesterday. I got another Airfix 8-window Mark II-D, which was fairly cheap, but I've got a rake of them anyway, and this just adds another. So now I've got one first class, which has got a yellow band on the top of it, two second classes, which have got the blue band on it, and 8 windows, and a third one, which is, I believe it's I may be wrong, but it's either a second or a first brake. So I wasn't quite sure. Anyway, I was going to come on just after 1 o'clock, but it's now just gone 3 o'clock. So I was just about to, let's just get rid of that. There we go. If everything had worked fine, yes, I would have probably been on about 1:30. But then as soon as I started having problems, that was that. I thought, well, okay, let's take this as far as I can, and then we'll see what happens after that. Oh, scraggy neck. So there you go. Yeah, so I got a second class Airfix Mark II-D in grey and blue, Intercity. I've got a couple of hopper wagons, one of which we already have. I can't remember. I'll tell you what it is. They are PGA hopper wagons. They're made by Hornby. What are they? CAIB hopper wagons. Andy Dobson, hi, how are you? So I got a couple of those. Those are weathered and they've got little bits of graffiti on them. Yeah, so I got two of those. They were £12 each, and I thought, well, fair enough. So I've now got a rake of 3. Something else I got yesterday was a Network Southeast 20-ton brake van. That's looking pretty good, actually, and because it's in that very bright blue Network Southeast, it just threw itself out of the box at me and said, buy me. So I did. So I'll show you these as and when people come in the chat. I'm running today in the background. That's the Class 350, the D0, and the little, what do you call this? It's a Derby lightweight. That's what it is, a Derby lightweight. So Andy Dobson, did you manage to get yourself out to any exhibitions? This was going to be all about the haul that I got from Alexandra Palace yesterday. I mean, after we were in there half an hour, the place really started to heave. It was really quite packed after that. I did manage to bump into Robert Valentine, better known to you as Robert's Train Set. And it's always great to see Robert. He's really good company. So it's amazing how many times we bumped into each other, because you obviously start chatting, and then obviously you've got things that you want to see and the other person's got things that they want to see. Just back from Dartmouth. Oh, great holiday, excellent. So was that was it the Dartmouth and Paignton Railway, which as far as I can remember, they've got an S160 down there somewhere, and I think it was sort of stationed halfway along in one of their little marshalling yards or whatever. Mr. Fly Mode Chairman, hello Adam, how are you? Was it a good show this year? Yes, it was, considering that we had the train strike on Saturday. It was just a happy coincidence that my wife wasn't working and I got the car. Hello, Alan. How did it go? Yeah, it was busy. We started off plenty early. I nipped across the road, got a paper for my old man, otherwise he'd have to go without. Got to have his mail on Sunday. Yeah, blooming Tory rag. Anyway, hello, Paul. Nice to see you. So, yeah, we started off well early. Came back, Paignton on the Devon Bell Pullman. Oh, lovely. That's nice. There's something about the Pullman I will come on to. And a little conversation I had with Stuart at St Mary's Church regarding those. Did I meet Robert? Yes, several times. 3-4 times. We you know how some of these places you get it, there's so many people there, it's a sea of faces, and I kept bumping into Robert. So every time we said, all right, we'll see you later, and they go off and do their thing and you go off and do your thing, I kept bumping into him all over the hall. So it was brilliant. Anyway, what's the weather like up in jolly Scotland at the moment, Adam? I know you've had your fair share of video nasties. Anyway, right, okay, I'll touch on the Devon Bell. I had this set, which is the Flying Scotsman set of where it went to America, and they put the cow catchers on it, and there's a little bell on the front. And it was my dad's model, and it was a bit high fidelity for him. He just wanted something basic. So I had the original 2-tender Ringfield motor, double tender Flying Scotsman, and we did a swap. But this little train pack, it comes with a Flying Scotsman and an observation car. And the observation car went missing. And what happened was his been a cold and rain, yeah. Saw a bit of sunshine yesterday. Yeah, big golden ball in the sky. Anyway, this observation car went missing, and he had a leak in one of his radiators, which meant I had to dismantle his model railway, put it all away. I built it so I could get it into 4 bits. So I evacuated the room, got a new radiator for him, but I could never find this observation car. And anyway, I was sort of going through some of his stuff, getting ready to put the layout back out, which I did a couple of weeks back, and I came across this plastic bag, which my father's very fond of collecting plastic bags, with the observation car stuffed in it, and there was a little step off of it. So I thought, that's mine. So that came home with me, and I've since fixed it and put it back in its box. So maybe next weekend I'll get the Flying Scotsman out, the one with the hi Lee, the one with the cowcatcher on the front, which is a great touch because I love American things. Possum Bio, hello, nice to see you. No, it wasn't behind the No, it wasn't behind the blooming radiator. Yeah, it just put it in one of these clear plastic bags. I mean, it's great for keeping the dust off, but at a glance, when the light shines off of it, you can't see what's in it, even though it's a clear bag. And I thought, bugger me, where the hell has it gone? And I actually found another Devon Bell. Hello, Alan. Nice to see you. It's such a shame you don't do a Sunday anymore. Even if you did just a chat, it'll be great. Because Sunday night is just like a barren wasteland at the moment. Obviously, Bernie's off the rails. So it'd be nice if you did a little something. Even if it went on for just an hour, just somewhere we could go on a Sunday night, because the TV's dire. You know what it's like. You're live at 6 today. Okay, Lee, I'll bear that in mind. I would have been on earlier, sometime like I did last week. But one of the engines I bought from Ali Pally yesterday, it's a blooming expensive engine. I'm having trouble with that. I think it's the drawbar. It's got like an electronic drawbar, and that's proving troublesome. Anyway, I'll look into it, and we'll see. But I can show you it today. I don't think I'm going to send it back because these things are so rare. It's an MTH model. The detail on it's fantastic, and it obviously hasn't been abused, but there's obviously something amiss there. Because you should be able to just pop it on the track, pick up your digital command control, hit button 3 or 4 or 3, I think, and that it's like our function 1. It just brings it to life. And that's when funny things started happening. All the sounds were there, which emanate from the tender, but there's something amiss with the drawbar there. So I'm going to explore that further. And if I have to get onto NTH in the States, because I know they still produce boards and bits and pieces for their old models, I may have to contact them. But we'll worry about that when the time comes. I don't really want to send it back. I mean, I could do, even as much as it costs. You buy these things because they should at least be running. And this one wasn't. And I know my track's clean. You've seen everything run. You can see what's running behind me. That may be running on DC, but the track's clean. So, yeah, I've never bought a dud from these particular people. I won't mention them online. Should you do a hobby room Sunday? Yes, you should, Alan. Yeah. Yeah. Sunday night is a barren wasteland now. It's like a desert with tumbleweed going across it. And of course, you're sort of scrambling around YouTube to find things that you haven't watched all week. And then you get to a point where there's nothing left to look at. And you think, oh, bugger, now what? But if Bernie's looking in but not in the chat, I hope you feel a lot better, Bernie. Never bought a dud. I think you'll find I bought my New York City Mohawk from them. Yes, but I didn't mention them. I won't do that because we've never had any trouble with anything we bought from them before, and it just happens that this one doesn't work out of the box. But I'll work on it a bit and see what I can do with it. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll show it to you now. So I'll show you my little haul from Alexandra Palace. Right, let me move this forward a bit. Right, here we go. Forgive me a minute. Hello, Peter. Nice to see you. Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition. Sean Pacific. Hi, mate. Nice to see you. How's sunny California? Right. Well, you should recognize this one, Sean. I'll just pop this around and show you. You're probably going to get a reverse of the name on the tender because that's just what webcams do. That there is a Pennsylvania K4. And that's what I bought yesterday. It's an MTH loco. And of course, the details on them are fantastic. I mean, if you look at the front there, let me just see if I can get a little bit more light in. How's that? Right, let me just stop the trains a minute and I can go around the other side. There we go. Right. Now, there is the Pennsylvania K4. It's still not brilliant light, is it? And at the moment, it's a non-worker. It produces all the sounds, but there's obviously a problem with the drawbar. And on these, it's quite a complex affair, so I'm going to have to really look into that. Maybe one of the wires has come adrift inside, but I'll open it up and check it out. Here's everything else I got. Let me just shut that door, Everard. Right, that's better. Okay, now here's a bugger. Right, here we go. Right, we're there. Okay, here's what else I got. There's a Pennsylvania Dyna car, which we already had. And I thought, well, I'll get that out because it's the only Pennsylvania car I got. Bernie in the house. Hello, Bernie. And then I bought this, which is a pretty rare Airfix Mark IIB coach with, if you count them, it's got 8 windows in it, and they didn't produce many of those. So I grabbed that while the occasion arose. Then I went on and bought that right there. It's the equivalent of a caboose in England. So that's a brake van. And that's in Network Southeast colours. I just like the colour. It jumped out of the box and said, buy me. So I did. And I got these, which are a couple of hopper wagons. What did I say they were? PGAs or something? Hang on, I'll read the box. It is a PGA, yes. And as you see, they're weathered. And they've also got little bits of graffiti on them as well. So we did have a couple of one of those, and I just managed to buy another 2. And then this one, Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe flat wagon with the funny sides on it. So I'll just pop that down there a second. You can have a look at there's a better view of the K. If I just bring that up that way a little bit, it's got these fantastic driving wheels on it. It's something like 12 or 14 spokes. And although it's a beautiful model, it just don't work at the moment. But I'll find a way of fixing it one way or the other. Yes, I do hope you're feeling better, Bernie. It's obviously not very nice having those kind of problems. Let me just leave you there a second while I shut this door. Oh, bugger. La, 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 la. There we go. Right. Okay, I'm back. Right, let me just readjust you up to the top. Yeah, so what should have been, I'll just get the trains running again. That should do nicely. Right, I'm back. Yeah, the Loco is a cracker. It's just a shame that it's obviously giving problems. We've got a lot of these engines from MTH, and all of them are absolutely fabulous. And we've worked out some problems in some of them, where one of the traction tires was a bit chewed up and it wasn't giving continuity through the wheel. Blah blah blah. Hello, Mick. Nice to see you flying Scotsman stuff, mate. Yeah, a bonus. So yeah, I very much like the American style locos. This one's a 462. Apart from the 280 that we've got also from MTH, this is the smallest. Expensive because they put a lot of time, and my connection is unstable. Am I all right? I do need to get more passenger cars. Yes, you're right, Sean. Yeah. It's March West Junction. Hi, Andy. It's just a shame that I wasn't able to put it straight on the track and run it for you. I would have loved to have done that. So it's just one of those things. You do get problems occasionally, as we all know. I mean, there's always a chance that another one of these would come up and I could just scavenge it for spare parts. But I don't really want to unless, next time. I've got a week before I do another live stream. I'm buffering a bit. Did a bus go past? Not between the house and here. No bus. I mean, who knows? Right. Just make sure that's in. And what I'll do, I'll just angle it a bit and then we'll see what happens. Because you know what it's like with propagation. How is it now? Am I still fluctuating, or is that better? Because sometimes it only takes a bit of manipulation of the computer and it's getting a better signal. Off we go again. I think Alan was having a bit of that trouble because Alan uses his cell phone to get his signal. I mean, this is off of Wi-Fi from the house, so you know what propagation's like. Seems fine your end. Okay, thank you, Peter. So, yeah, let's get a little more speed going. A little bit. There we go. I won't run that one too quickly because it does get noisy. Yeah, so the Pennsylvania K4 should be coming along. Now, Sean, you know what it's like to get a model and then put it on the track and then it just goes forward a couple of inches and then stops, just like your cab forward was doing. And that's a pain when it does that. But yeah, this was having similar problems. So it could be a continuity problem. I don't know. Might be the drawbar. The drawbar is a bit exotic on these. So I'll crack it open and see if there's anything obvious. And we'll see what happens from there. I mean, it may just be whatever I try, I'm getting nowhere. And then I've got the option, I can send it back and get my money back. But don't really want to unless I have to. You're on 720p. Oh, okay, that's good. So 1080p is available. So yeah, thanks, Rich. That is a nice camera. It was the DCC decoder. Okay. Well, that might be problematic with one of these because they don't really make NTH models anymore. So I may have to get a scrapper and scavenge parts out of it. But again, they're expensive because it was die-cast metal and it was top of the range stuff, as far as I was concerned. Well, as long as that's what it was and it's all running very well now, Sean, that's great. I mean, when you bought that thing out, and I thought, oh, this is going to be great. We do actually have a big NTH cab forward. That's a real monster, just like the big boy. And they were very, very expensive. They were like £700 type of thing. Really expensive. But you get what you pay for. In this country, we used to get what we paid for. But now they seem to have, everything seems to have rocketed. Problem on the J27, complained of earlier. Jerky forward, flying backwards. It was pulling the tender on the cables. Yeah, that can be a problem. Should have it back first week of April. Excellent. I look forward to seeing that. April's not far away. So anyway, I'll see what I can do with the K4. It may just turn out to be a basket case, but all the electronics in the rear of it, which are all in the tender, all seem to be fine. It's just depending on what it's doing with the drawbar connection to the front. And it's very exotic on these because they've just got a 2-wire drawbar. And I think they've used some kind of pulse width modulation to send signals from the tender to the loco. And then it's obviously read and disseminated to whatever it needs: power, lights, smoke. Yeah, they're complicated little beasts. So I'll see what I can do with that. But in the meantime, you can figure it out. I'll give it a shot. Yeah. What more can you do? You can only do your best. So I'm not going to get downhearted and throw my toys out of the pram. There's no. You can do that as much as you like, and you'll be back at the same point with the same problems you've got from when you started throwing your toys out of the pram. I'm not going to spit my dummy out over this. It's just a bit of a pain because obviously you want to grab the model, put it on the track, hit the buttons, hit the function buttons, and off it goes. And most of the time, that's what happens. But occasionally, you stub your toe. But that's okay. It's okay. Yes. Yeah, make the best of it. What can you do? It's just you can't be inside it when you buy it, even at a show. But it's not a problem. I saw a guy who bought it's a great big O gauge in the States, great big O gauge diesel. In fact, it looked bigger than O gauge, and he got it for $200, sort of a bargain price. When he got it back home and unboxed it, no sounds, no smoke, no nothing. So he opened up the top, and all the switches in it are gone. And there's just 2 wires sticking up like that. So, yeah, you can get ripped off. I haven't been ripped off here. It's just that it's obviously got issues. Thank you, Bernie. Yes, hit the like button, everyone. Try and keep my stats up. That's always good. Hi, Al. Nice to see you. But, yeah, you get problems occasionally. But we'll just line them up and knock them down one by one. Once I stripped all the bodywork off, and you just left with a chassis, 2 chassis, front and back, and 2 great big circuit boards. I mean, I've been in these things before, where we had one of the models we bought had a smoke issue. The smoke unit was squealing, and what had happened is the little compressor, or whatever you call it, it's like a fan disc, with a little 5-volt motor. It had actually been pushed onto the shaft, and it was fouling on the housing. So all it meant was just easing it away a little bit, and then the noise disappeared. You obviously still hear the fan, which is just in the background, but these things have quite loud sound on them, so it disguises the sound of the smoke generator. And that was it. I mean, these things had all the bells and whistles, the smoke, the lights, Canon 5-pole motor in it. What more do you want, really? Yeah, it can be the smallest thing. I mean, it could be a wire off of one of those, or just touching onto one of the drawbars. There's a rather particular lack of a GNR running on the layout. Well, I was going to say, okay, you come up here and run it, but I can get it out if you want me to. Do you want me to get it out? I can. This was an acquisition from the Inquisition on Saturday when we went to the Alexandra Palace. Why not? Okay, I will. We went to Alexandra Palace, and Richard bought a Great Northern, what's it called? Sterling single. Hello, Dino. A Sunday clubber is never late through their baggings. No, let's not go into all that. I did actually meet Jenny Kirk yesterday, and she's a hell of a lot taller than I am. She's like a foot taller than I am. She could have used me as a public leaning post. But running. Oh, Durham Junction's live. Well, I'll come in, Craig, and look at that a little bit later. It's one of those things. Decide to go live. There's not really any rules, and obviously anybody that wants to pop over and look at New Durham Junction, that's fine. Yeah, feel free to do that. You can always bring up a second browser and watch the two of us, and just shut my gap. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll get out the Sterling single, and from what Richard told me, this is working great. So here we go. I'll wait until the Derby lightweight comes around, and then I'll stop it, because I can do that on my little controller here. Bit faster. Right. Stop right there. Right. Throw the switch. Here we go. We have left the main line. Over the double slip. Over another point. Right. Okay, now what do I have to do? I need to throw that one. Forgive me a second, I'll just deal with this. What do I need? I need to isolate the DMU. I need to click that to forward. I need track number 2, unisolated. Now I've just got to make sure you will get across there, no problems. Right, we're ready. Right, now you should see, it'll be coming out of the shed, chat. So let me just check the, hello, hi, nice to see you. And did I spot Andy come in there? Hi, Chris, nice to see you as well. Welcome on board. Right, here comes the Sterling single. It's got a massive single driving wheel. Really, really impressive. This is in just DC, 12 volts DC. We have made it to the main line. I'll stop it there. Right. How am I going to do this? Right, I'll set this up. So they're 8-foot 1-inch drivers. So says my son, the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition. Right. Okay. Here we go. This is going to be going around that way. So you want to see down that way. Okay. Right, let me put that down a moment. I want to be going into reverse. I'll turn the switch. So I'll just reposition the camera, which I can do. Right. Actually, it wants to be around the other way. Sorry about that. Right, here we go. How's that? Is that okay for everyone? John Gould Dad. Right. Oh, okay. That's Mark. Hello, Mark. Perfect. Okay. Right, here we go. A little power. I'll keep the speed down so you can see it in all its glory. Trust me, she's coming around now. And here she comes. With that massive driving wheel. Shouldn't be long now. We'll give it another pass and then I'll move the camera a bit so you can get a different view. Yeah, not bad, Sean. You know what it's like, it's keeping the track clean as much as you can and keep everything oiled and greased and oh so pricey. Yes, they didn't make a fantastic amount of these Sterling singles. They were made by Rapido. And what I'll do, as it comes around, I'll just drag it down to very slow. Here she comes. Yes, this is a sort of turn of the century style of stuff. So if I just stop it there, and I'll just bring you closer. There we go. It's a real sort of turn of the century machine with this massive, massive driving wheel. 8 foot 1 inch, 8 foot 2 inches. Rapido done a fantastic job with it, but unfortunately Rapido don't own the tools for it. I think the tools are owned by Locomotive, which is the modelling arm of the National Railway Museum. So they're obviously calling the shots, and then for them to make this again, obviously it would be at the behest of the National Railway Museum, who can be a bit strange. So what do you think, guys? That is just a beauty. I won't tell you what it cost, but it was a pretty penny. When they came out, however many years ago that was, it was 200 and 50 odd pounds then, which was far in advance of anything that Hornby and Bachmann were doing at the time. They were in the mid-50s, mid-150s. And this came out, and because it was so detailed and it had been done so very well, it was a lot of money then. Now they're that much rarer, and this one, let's just put it this way, it hasn't doubled in price, but it's well on the way to double the price, because they really didn't make that many of them. They must have made a couple of thousand, and a couple of thousand. Right, I'll start this off, and then, right, here we go. That's what you call a driving wheel. What is it? It's a Sterling single. Great Northern Railways, the forerunner of the London North Eastern Railways, Bernie. So if I manipulate you around that way a bit, you should get quite a decent view of it going past. There you go. Stopped at the right spot. We've got traffic lights. Now they are actually 4-aspect railway lights. So yeah, Emily from Thomas and Friends. No, it bloody isn't. When I see you, Rich, I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap. Well, what Rapido did with this, to make sure it wasn't just the big driving wheel that was driving it, they actually geared the wheel under the cab to be driven as well. Obviously, it's a different ratio because of the different size of the wheels, but they managed to engineer it so both the great big 8-foot driving wheel drives it, and also the wheel under the cab, which is obviously got its own gearing. So Rapido did a brilliant job making sure this thing has got just the right amount of traction. Here she comes. Going past you right now. Has it got firebox glow? Let me just check that out. It does have firebox. It does have firebox glow as well. Actually, I'll look close up on the pictures as they come around, and then if I need to adjust the angle of the camera, I can do. There's one on eBay for £699. Yes, well, it wasn't quite that much. Let's take a look. Here it comes right now. I'm not sure you can see it, but because this is DC, if I take the power away, you can lose the firebox glow. But it's got some day glow bits and pieces in the cab. So obviously there was something there which has been highlighted in orange. I'll see if I can adjust the camera so you can see it. Right, I'll see if I can sort of chase it around as it comes. Here we go. Right, we've caught her up. Here we go. Now, can you see the firebox glow? Difficult to see, but it's definitely on. I'll pop it around a little bit. Right, that. Here we go. You can see it. Oh, good. Okay. I wasn't wasting my time then. Yes, the rolling road. Yeah, we could do that because we've got some of these, which are the DCC Concepts rolling road, and they're very good for that kind of thing. In fact, I'll probably be using that when I try and sort out the K4. There she comes. Wow, what a beauty. Shall I have her pull in a couple of wagons? Yeah, why not? I'll stop her as she comes around, and then I'll pop on a couple of wagons. Right. Hold it there, my beauty. Jean Ricard, hello. Nice to see you. So I'm going to assume it must have been very difficult in real life to get traction. Just that one driving wheel. Probably very fast locomotive. It was. And now, if you look online on YouTube, there is some footage of the actual locomotive going at really quite a lick, really, really fast. That big driving wheels whacking around. Yes, we've got some four-wheelers on order. So, yes, nice to see you. Thanks for coming along, John. Right, let's get some trucks on there. And then we'll see what we can do. Obviously, these are not prototypical. Here we go. And last but not least, I'll put on my new network rail. Right. Okie dokie. Let's run that, shall we? All aboard. Oh, just in time, Anthony. Here we go. The Sterling single. With some very unprototypical trucks. But let's face it, rule one does apply. Yes, lost track of time. That was the problem. I was going to go online a bit earlier than I ended up doing because of the problem I had with the K4. There she comes. Pulling a couple of hobble wagons and a network southeast brake van. Caboose, if you want to call it a caboose. You can call it a caboose if you like, because that's effectively what it is. Although I wouldn't want to live in one. Let's put it that way. I'm going to finish off my coffee now. But yes, the exhibition at Alexandra Palace was quite populous. There was a lot of people there. Not so many exhibitors in the main hall. It was, yeah, you're right there, Adam. in the main hall, it was mostly box shifters and all the punters looking to buy. The driver and the phone, their work cut out when you think of it. Yes, yeah, I'll bet they did. Needed a great deal of strength shoveling those black diamonds, as they used to call them. And your awareness as a driver needs to be second to none, because you've got all these people that you're responsible for, and that's what they get paid. What they do, it's a very responsible job. Here she comes. Yeah, very nice. So that just shows you it can pull that. As for the show itself, yeah, there were quite a few sellers in the main hall, and off to the side there were the kit makers and more of the exhibits themselves. So yeah, all in all, it was quite nice the way they laid it out. We got there an hour early, walked up the hill, at which point it was raining a little bit, and we got inside. We got in at 9:30, and we went straight to where we usually go. A quick look in the free magazine that we got told us the people we were looking for, and we made a beeline straight there. And there's a couple of guys we recognised before who obviously make for the same seller that we do. So we tagged along behind them, and I mean, for big guys, they can half move quick. So we got there roughly at the same time, and there was a queue there even at that point. So it's a very popular seller. Sean Pacific, fire at Gridley, California, off of Highway 99 today. I'll be sure and have a look at that later. Might do a live stream on Thursday. That's good news, Bernie. See how you get on. Just don't do anything you shouldn't, or you feel you shouldn't. Yeah, well, obviously the more live streams, the merrier. It's nice to have a nice big happy family, but don't break yourself in order to do it. Yeah, don't push it, Bernie. It's just see how you feel on the day. It's all on the day. As I was saying about the exhibition, it's a bit like the one that Anthony went to. After about an hour, 3/4 of an hour, there were lots and lots of people, and the place was just suddenly flooded, and it was shoulder and elbow room. But yeah, we met up with some various people. I got to meet Robert Valentine of Robert's Train Set again and again and again and again. Considering how packed it was, I kept bumping into Robert throughout the day. And he did say to me that Jenny Kirk was going to do a YouTubers meet and greet at 2:00 in the afternoon. And I said, oh, okay, fine. So I set a little alarm on my mobile handy. So it went off at 1:45 and I could make my way there. Anyway, at 2:00, there was me and Jenny and Robert, and that was it. I never got to see Tony Northeastern. I'm not sure if Tony was there. I know what Tony looks like now. And I said, are you going to wear the same cap that you usually do? And he said, yes. But without a mobile phone, you can't say, oh, I'll meet you under the organ, because they've got a huge organ in the main hall, like a concert, like a cathedral organ. It's huge. And it's a good meeting place, and it's a good eating place as well. So, Mark, hello, Charlie. Nice to see you. a nice rake. Very unprototypical Charlie. It's a Sterling single, which you would probably know about. And I've got a couple of, what are they called? PGA hoppers behind that. And a network, it's not a network rail, it's a network southeast brake van right behind that. So yeah, I didn't get to see Mark of Hemel Down. He did say he was going to try, but apparently his wife was ill and he had to look after the kids, and I'm afraid I didn't see Mark, which is a shame. But if you can't make it, you can't make it. It's as simple as that. Don't look for rivets, no. Yes. Yes, rule 1 applies. I wasn't actually going to run it because obviously Richard bought it. But when he said, oh, yeah, okay, go ahead and run it, I thought, yeah, what the hell? It was sitting in yonder shed. So out it comes. Yeah, we give it a good shakedown, because that's really what it needs. It's probably been sitting in a box for God knows how long. But we read all of the stuff that goes with it. Rapido's instructions are always entertaining. So if any of you out there have got Rapido trains, you'd know what I mean. Is that your birthday, Charlie? Well, many happy returns, Charlie. And thanks for coming in and sharing it with us. That's great. Yeah, did you get anything nice that was train related that you want to tell us about? Merry Womb Liberation Memorial Day. Yes, indeed. Yeah, she cometh. My wife gives me hell for saying that in her birthday cards. Well, that's what wives are for giving us help. Yeah, birthday's supposed to be a happy day. Let's not soil the conversation. We talk about partners and wives. Anthony, have you sold all your trains? What? What? Can't be done. They can't be done. It would take you years to sell all your trains. Oh, is this about the temporary location of all your trains? Sans take over the other room, Anthony. Hell no, new shelves put up last night. Yes. That's more like it. Right, let's just put the change around. And I'll bring out the 4CEP. Forgive me for neglecting the chat for a minute while I just run old matey here. That's the brakes, you know. Right, here goes. Oh, no, wrong one. I need that one off and that one off. That's correct. Right, here we go. Right, that's running much better this time. Stop it there. Throw the switch track. Here we go. Right, let's just down a little. That should do it. Here she comes. The better half is not up yet. That's an advantage. We watched the series last night. The only person who ever gave me anything train related was the MIL. Gave me a cream and custard. The MIL gave me cream and custard ex-LNER coaches. Well, we've got some teaks on the way. The generic 6 and 4 wheel teaks, which should match up well with yonder Sterling single, which is coming around now. Mother-in-law, why couldn't I see that? See, that's the thing about acronyms. Some of them I'm just blind to sometimes. Right, here comes the 4CEP. It's in cruising mode. No, if the mother-in-law is kind enough to give you a bit of cream and custard, let's not diss the mother-in-law, because that's obviously something that needs to be fostered if you're getting things like that. Right, my mic setup is it's a Hewlett-Packard webcam with the associated mic on it. I don't know if that's a stereo mic or a mono. I think it's probably a mono mic on that. I don't think it's anything fancy on the PC. But yeah, the mic is just attached to the webcam. The webcam's quite a good one. It's a 1080p Hewlett-Packard. I could read the model number if you wanted that. Your mother-in-law was a saint. She was an absolutely cool lady. More reminds me of my mother-in-law. Right, well, that can happen sometimes. My mother-in-law was Welsh, actually. I say was, I mean, she died a number of years ago, unfortunately. But, yeah, I mean, she certainly knew what I liked to eat. And she was quite tall as well. I mean, everybody's tall compared to me. But it always occurred to me she was the sort of person that it would be really valuable if you had anything to take back to a shop you take her with you, because she could just look down on whoever and make them feel quite inferior. She did have a bit of presence about her. Okay, hi, thanks for coming in. I didn't find a cop looper, I'm afraid. Cop looper. I did look, but I just couldn't find one. There was lots of Roco, lots of Lima, not so much Dutch, but Austrian, German, Swiss, but just not very much Dutch, not very many Dutch things. I mean, I obviously knew what I was looking for. A cop loper is quite a distinct locomotive. It's got a bulbous nose with a cockpit stuck right on the top of it. You've got a soft spot for the mother-in-law, the swamp. Oh, yeah. That's funny, Mick. Okay, Charlie, right. Yeah, the problem with audio is you have a Blue Yeti. Often the system picks up from the iPhone and other webcams. Yeah, that's obviously a problem where you've got more than one camera. Hi, Donegal Dad. Hello, Mark. You'll see one of the latest acquisitions coming around now. The Sterling single, putting a rather odd lot of wagons behind it. Sorry about that. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for effort there, Charlie. Anyway, I've only got the one webcam, so choices for that, it doesn't really, it's either the PC or the webcam, that's it. And it's only when you start using StreamYard and all of the other sort of massaging software that the complications seem to come in. I know with Alan, every time he shows a video on his channel, when he's using StreamYard or whatever, it always chops his mic off. So he'll come back and his mic's been turned off. So this massaging software really does screw things up for you sometimes, and you really have to watch it like a hawk. Obviously, there are people who are really techie and they have an eye on everything that's going on, but some people don't. So, and I often find it very difficult to do things and keep up with the chat, because you do have to watch the chat like a hawk, otherwise you'll just get left behind. I know some guys put it on slow mode so it inhibits the chat so you can actually catch up with it. Don't particularly want to do that though. Keep it simple, stupid. The best way forward, the added value, give them a couple of additional cameras. Yeah, you're right, Charlie. Eventually I'll probably do that. Yeah, Donovan said as you come back. No pun intended. Yeah, I could probably wire up a couple of extra webcams, say one over yonder, so you can get an overall view from that side. Perhaps one in the cow field over there. I could do that and try and make it look pretty as well. But that's something for the future. Slowly catchy monkey. And I've got a little Asus computer. It's got no bigger than a 12-inch screen. It's got extra RAM in it to make it work a little better, but it's not a gaming computer, which you need for a lot of cameras and software and all the rest of it. You haven't figured out how to test before you go live on StreamYard. Yeah, that can be a bit difficult as well. The only way you can do it on just plain YouTube Studio is to set up a live stream but not going anywhere. You just make it private, and then you can pick the bones out of it at your leisure. I'm just keeping an eye on this 4CEP. It seems to speed up at a certain point. No, it's an optical illusion. It seems to go just a little bit faster when it gets behind me, but I think it's just an optical illusion. That's very kind of you, Peter, but don't worry about that too much. I'm not going to do anything too extreme. Yeah, I suppose you can do that with StreamYard. There's nothing to say you can't limit who your audience is. So there may be a way, there should be a way in StreamYard to say, okay, I just want to make this a private thing and just try a few things. You must be able to do that, I would have thought. But then if I'd started using StreamYard, I'd want to know these things. I'd want to know that you can mess around with it to get everything the way it should be. I mean, it took my sorry backside long enough to get up the shed and actually do a live stream. Of course, once it's successful, yeah, you want to do a few more, and perhaps it gets to be a regular thing. But you know, I don't have to set up a webcam. You know, nobody's got my head in a bucket or anything like that. But it is a bit of fun, and it's nice to share with people. I mean, when you think of the effort that Mark goes to do his live stream from his loft, which he's building under our feet, I mean, that is no mean feat, and he's done wonderfully well with getting all the roof done. And yeah, brilliant entertainment from my point of view to watch somebody do this kind of stuff live. And really, it takes balls big enough to come in a dump truck to actually show the world what you're actually doing. So yeah, fair play to you, Mark. You've done really well there. You do yourself and your family credit. You can make it private, yeah? Yeah, I think that might be the way to do it, Charlie. Just to make a few notes, adjust camera angles, and then do it 2 or 3 times. You're welcome, Mark. And then perhaps do 3 or 4 live streams where you're just adjusting camera angles, trying a few things with sound. Make sure you've got control of whatever mics that you've got. That's the way I tend to do it. I mean, sometimes you just run out of time though, and you think, oh, I've got to do something. And you get yourself online and you wing it. Pretty much what I'm doing here, actually. But obviously you want to come across as a little bit professional. Like, it's time to get a haircut. Oh, you don't want to do things like that. Not while the weather's still this cold, Mark. That's very kind of you, Peter. But don't worry too much just yet. Maybe when it gets a bit nearer Christmas, I might take you up on it. But there's obviously things to do in the meantime. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I was rushing the K4 a little bit earlier. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll just show you the K4. There's the K4. that's the K4. Right, let me just see if I can get the get this to sit on the rails. There we go. And I'll see if I can get some more light in it as well. There we go. How's that? Yeah, lots and lots of detail. But obviously there's a problem with the drawbar, which I'm going to be looking into. Sorry the Pennsylvania bits come out back to front, but you know what webcams are like. So there you go, guys. All right. What I'll do, I might be able to get you around this way, and you'll get a better view of the Great Northern. There we go. How's that? Right, let's see what the what that's like as it comes around. Here comes the 4CEP. Oh, so you're seeing it the right way round, and I'm seeing it the wrong way round. How does that work, Flymo? Tempted to have a shave and a haircut. Yeah. Well, you don't have to look unkempt. It's just that obviously when it's this cold, you don't really want to push the boat out too much and lose all your hair and do a Samson. Okay, Bernie, thanks for coming in. I really do appreciate it. You take care of yourself, and yeah, just take it easy and don't do anything silly, eh? No, it's been quite a nice day today, actually, Adam. It's hasn't been that cold. I mean, I've got the little heater on in here, but I've cracked the door open quite a bit wider. So yeah, it's temperature is 75 at the moment. 75. Obviously, where that's being measured, it's a bit closer to the ceiling. Yeah, thanks for coming in, Bernie. I appreciate it. Aha, old and new. Mr. Paul Bosman, good morning. That's good afternoon. It is afternoon, isn't it? Yeah, very. Nice to see you. Nice. Paul, you'll see the Sterling single coming around in a second. It should be coming past you about now. What a monster. Pulling some very unprototypical wagons and a Network Southeast brake van. The show was great. It was absolutely packed, considering there was a rail strike. Lots and lots of people went by car and bus. And yeah, I'm sorry, Paul. I haven't seen your video yet, which I will. I'll be watching that a little later. But the show was really quite good. Lots and lots of gear on there. I did have a look for some hopper wagons for Stuart, but I couldn't see any of those hopper wagons at all. I think they were press flows. Strathspey Railway. I'll have to put my teeth into that one. If you get 2 views, you'll be happy. Now, don't set your sights too low. You'll be fine. Once we have a bash at your video, you'll have at least 8 or 10. How many in the chat? 15? Yeah, well, you should be all right for 15. Can you all still hear the clickety-clack quite well? That was something I did, Charlie. I unticked the box which had noise reduction on it, because if you leave the noise reduction on, all it will hear of you is just your voice. Any background noise, digital control, sounds, it tends to obliterate the lot. Ah, there you go. Have another subscriber, Mr. Bosman. Too many brown envelopes. Well, as long as they haven't repossessed your electric organ, mate, you're fine. But yes, the alley pally was quite busy. We got there an hour early, wound our way up the hill, because it is on top of a blooming big hill. So we walked up there panting, got in the queue snaked in, 9:30 it opened. We made a beeline for where we needed to go, because you get a free exhibition guide when you're in the queue. So we had a quick look at the map, quick look at who we wanted to see first, and then made a beeline as soon as it was open. After it got about 10:15, I suppose, when the cash-paying customers came in, and not just the guys who had pre-ordered the tickets, it got really, really busy. I mean, it was heaving. As I say, I did see Robert Valentine there, which was, I knew he was going. And it's great to see Robert. He's such a refreshing, he's just a nice man, actually. A lovely man. So we managed to see each other half a dozen times. I mean, it's quite odd, really. With that amount of people there, we just kept bumping into each other. So we go off in different directions, and eventually our paths will cross again. It's strange how that happens. You had 8 on the chat. When you later looked on YouTube, there were 32. How does that work then? I don't know. There's some very odd things happening with YouTube. I got to a point where I was in a live chat, and no matter what I put in, it showed up in the live chat, but nobody could see my posts. And you know, you usually get 3 little dots come up if you put your cursor next to your own or any of the questions or answers. You usually get 3 little dots. I wasn't getting that. Okay, Al, thanks for coming in. Can't say I'm that enamoured with the Grand Prix myself, but I'll be stopping in about 10 minutes. Yeah, there's some people who choose not to participate in the live chat. Some people just come on to YouTube and watch. They don't log in or anything, because it's an open source. You can always view it, and it counts that person as a view. But they may not be logged in. I wasn't for years, but it didn't stop me looking at Anthony's live streams and Jenny's live streams. Yeah, I think the browser I'm using today is Google Chrome's browser. You're only there for the beer. You're only there for the beans, mate. Okay, Charlie, thanks for coming in. Enjoy the rest of your birthday. It's lovely to see you here. Have a good time. Yeah, it's strange about that one, Adam. I don't know why YouTube can't keep up with it anymore. Right, I'll do a switch round of camera position now. If I plant you somewhere there. There we go. How's that? No, no matter what I did, Adam, I couldn't get something in there, and then all of a sudden I'd be back, and the three dots would show up, and then everybody'd say, "Oh, hi, Andy," and then I was gone again. So I just came in and out of the chat, and I had no control over it whatsoever. I came out of the chat, I turned the computer off, I put the computer back on, I went into the browser again, I typed my password back into YouTube. Didn't seem to make any difference. I just had a whole day of where I was in and out, and I think Anthony has had a similar thing as well, which is a real pain. Let me just slow this full CEP down a bit. It seems to be chugging away a little fast. Here comes the Sterling single. That's not a bad view, actually. I've got the K4 in there, which you can just see to your left-hand side. Actually, it's your right-hand side. I'm seeing everything reversed. That's why. Yes, I'm seeing everything reversed. So, for my view, or am I? Yes, I'm seeing everything reversed. You must be seeing things the right way, and I'm seeing everything through a mirror. I don't know how I could stop that even. So did I when you backed over the cat. I don't think the cat would sit there while you were backing over. They're pretty cute cats. No wonder they got 9 lives. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have another bash at the K4 and see if I can get any action in it and see if I can narrow down the problems that it's got. And I'm going to call it quits right there. And thank you all for coming in. Really great to see you. The mother-in-law was holding the cat. Oh dear, not more mother-in-law jokes. Oh, never mind. I'm off the old classics, mate. There's a choice on camera software to mirror or crossover. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just wondering where I'd find that. Because it's only appearing that way to me. Anyway, I'll look into that. Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Andy, for coming in. And Adam, thank you for moderating. It's always a pleasure to see you, mate. Keep warm up there in the Highlands, or I should say in Bonnie, Scotland. Thanks everybody for coming in. I'm going to call it quits there, and I'll see you next Sunday. With a bit of luck, I can get the K4 up and running. It might take me all week to do that. Thanks, Chris, for coming in. I'll say so long to Anthony over the other side of the Atlantic. Always a pleasure to see you in. Always a privilege to see you in, actually. And I'll catch up with you all soon, guys. Thanks very much for coming in. Cheers, then. I'll just let you have the 2 trains, and then I'll go. Here they come. One photobombing the other. Thanks, Paul, for coming in. I appreciate it. Look after yourself. Cheers, Mick. Adios, amigos.